Good day, viewers. Welcome to Citizen Information Network (CRN). My name is Olatunji Badmus. We are live at the Freedom Park, which is serving as one of the major hosts to the International Documentary Film Festival (IREP). And IREP is a documentary film festival that has been around the corner for the past 9 years. This year edition is titled Storylines. Storylines being one of the major defects in Nigeria film industry and Nigeria documentary as a whole. All of this will be in discourse right here at the Freedom Park. Stay with me, I'll be right back as we bring you more exciting packages from this year IREP Festival.
That carry this extremely important and actually glorious heritage are all decaying in tropical heat. Or most of them are lost. When you're talking about the television heritage and the celluloid film heritage, most of that stuff appears to be gone forever. Nobody's ever even carried out a comprehensive damage assessment to know what might be left somewhere. Virtually nothing's being done to rescue them. In 10 years, it's going to be virtually impossible to piece together anything like an adequate history. It's not impossible now, and since I'm looking at a room full of filmmakers, documentary filmmakers, you know, I urge you to get on with it. Nigerian documentary filmmakers have made excellent films about the arts in Nigeria. A number of them were shown at last year's IREP, and you know, they've been shown at every IREP. No accident that Femi Odugbemi is one of the directors who's done, you know, made signal films of this kind. And there have also been some excellent documentaries about Nollywood. You know, serious documentaries as well as all the making of and behind the scenes footage stuff. But very few of these documentary films have any historical dimension or attempt to talk in a serious way about what Nollywood means as a branch of Nigerian culture. You know, what does it mean to their audience? Would you have trouble finding a story arc in the history of Nigerian television, which begins with Chief Obafemi Awolowo and runs through Village Headmaster and then through the, you know, television as a mouthpiece of military dictatorship, and finally its fossilization into irrelevance under the neoliberal regime introduced at the end of the 90s? There is no lack of vivid personalities who could be interviewed. People have a very strong emotional connection to that television heritage and to those old celluloid films. For the young, they're a complete revelation. It would be a wonderful occasion for conversation among the generations. You know, this is really something that ought to happen.
Well, like we say in documentary, every human life is a story. But this year, our theme is storyline because we're exploring how much technology and social media has actually presented us with an opportunity for all of us to be documentary filmmakers. Because what is documentary? Documentary is about, you know, a journey to the truth. And of course, in the world that we live in now, where what is true and what is fake seems to constantly, you know, be in competition for our attention. Documentary finds itself empowered by technology in a way where all of us can tell the stories of our individual journeys and create a pool of resource where there is a balance in the facts and a balance in the truth of any situation. we are hoping that the exploration of this theme also showcases films that have been made by young people that documents in very thrilling, dramatic, funny, exciting ways. Different topics and different issues. We hope that people who come to the festival are able to also find that documentary is not boring. Documentary can be very exciting. Documentary can actually be as thrilling as any thriller, can be as dramatic as any drama film. And if you were here yesterday for the opening cocktail, you would have seen a film made by Beverly Naya and Daniel F. Young, which was called Skin. It was very exciting because it touched on the topic of bleaching and how our skin color seems to really affect our young people in terms of their sense of self, their sense of acceptance in society. That's the kind of films that we're hoping that our younger generation will use the power of technology to create.
Up to this moment, what has IREP done to make documentaries more attractive to people?
I think we've done a lot in the last 9 years. First of all, to create opportunities for younger filmmakers. We have given out grants to make documentary. This year we'll also be doing a documentary pitch in partnership with the Independent Television Producers Association. We're doing a pitch where the winning pitch would get 500,000 naira and equipment to make a film, but they must make a film about a development issue. We think initiatives like that will continue to empower young people to also find their creative voices, using documentary. I am the director of the Malta Choice Talent Factory, and one of the things we're also doing that is teaching documentary, not just from filmmaking perspective, but how to create an economy for documentary. We're talking with stations to talk about, being able to commission documentaries. There are many stations across the world that are documentaries only. Everybody knows, Discovery is doing that. There are many other stations, and they are quite, commercial, and they have an audience. Crime and Investigation is a very popular documentary platform. So there are opportunities that we have enough drama channels, we have enough music channels, we have enough of news channels. Maybe as we continue to push our entrepreneurs in the broadcast medium, we also see possibilities and opportunity in creating, channels that showcase issues that need documentary film.
Okay, welcome back. We are still at the IREP Film Festival. And right now I have a living legend in the theater world and also an actor, Segun Adefila, with me. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure having you on, sir.
It's a pleasure. I don't know where the living legend is coming from.
Permit me to use the word, sir. Sir, talking about IREP Film Festival, which has been around for a while, and this is the 9th edition. So how do you think this will be able to affect the film industry in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's going to affect the film industry in Nigeria positively because IREP is a school, and the brains behind IREP, they are the powers that be. They are not just they are not just names. They've got the status. They've got the wherewithal. These are the when you say the machine, the engine room of what you call filmmaking anywhere in Africa, and they are of international standards. So the film industry can get worse. It can only get better with IREP if people take advantage of the structures provided by IREP.
If you look at Nigeria being one of the largest film producer in the world and the largest film producer in Africa, what do you think has actually been the major setback in our film industry?
The major setback is, like you rightly observed, a nation of the kind of population we have, diverse cultures and so on and so forth, is a storyland. And so we can't tell the story of one part of Nigeria in 100 years. We've got lots of stories. So you'll be amazed that we are not reflecting enough of our culture, except a few die-hard, filmmakers who understand the relevance of culture. So the setback is not looking inward; it's looking too outward for validation to validate oneself. You don't need to look too much out of your domain to validate yourself because you've got it right there. Nigeria's got a lot of stories, and those stories are yet to be told.
Okay, sir. Having more festivals like this in years to come around the corner, more festivals like this years to come, how do you see this affecting our film industry?
It's not a question of the quantity of festivals. You can have all the festivals all over the world without quality. So it's more of a question of the quality of the festivals. What are the aims of the festivals? What are the because you know how we do things. Pure water comes out, everybody starts selling pure water, even if you're not passionate about it. But passionate filmmakers have decided to come together to start a festival. If you're going to be in that, to join that bandwagon, then you must have your kind of passion. You must have your kind of dream. Otherwise, we'll be replicating nonsense and we won't be able to do much with it. So, if we have more of those festivals, they should be as focused as IREP. Then we can start talking about, a positive impact. Otherwise, it's going to be like one of those things too.
Okay, one more thing. Talking about passion, what advice do you have for young filmmakers and actors who are just finding their way into the film industry?
Yeah, you in every responsible climb, you must go for what makes you happy. Some people um, love to sweep, to clean, but cleaning is not giving them the kind of money they want, so they go into shoemaking. That way, there's never a way you're going to come out with a shoe. When you see the shoe, you won't find a soul in the shoe. That's why most of the things you come out with is soulless. If you want to be a filmmaker, you must think filmmaking, you must sleep filmmaking, you must eat filmmaking, you must drink filmmaking. You don't want to think of anything but how to tell a story like a filmmaker. Once you have that, that's the first thing that you need. Then every other thing can follow. How to sustain that is now your headache. But it must be some not that Badmus has made a film and he's made so much money, and I just want to be, I'm a shoemaker because that Badmus has made a film. I want to go and make my own film too. That way you saturate the industry with a lot of nonsense, and we have lots of nonsense going on all over because it's first and foremost about the stomach, not about the head, not about. So let not your stomach rule your brain. Go for what you love to do. If you're not a filmmaker, don't go there, please. Yeah.
All right, lot of nonsense roaming about in the industry. That's a word from Mr. Shagun Adefila. And the festival is not yet over. We still march around, making contact and talking to people. Stay with us as we bring you more people right here from IREP International Festival happening here in Freedom Park.
Okay, so the Malta Choice portal is part of a three-touch-point strategy. It's part of a Malta Choice Talent Factory. When we launched the Talent Factory last year, we had a call for auditions in May, and we got 20 splendid students, 20 passionate young filmmakers, and we promised that we had three touch points in our bid to, invest in the future of filmmakers in Nigeria, or let me say across Africa, because we are the Western Hub, which we're part of, is made up of Nigeria and Ghana, and the other hubs in Kenya and Zambia for the Eastern and Southern. So we're in, many countries in Africa. So the second touch point of the Talent Factory is called the master classes. We've since had a master class in January. We had a master class with Dolby. These are sound engineers, and there's an opportunity for a larger group because the first touch point, which is the curriculum-based touch point, is made up of 20 students. The second, gives opportunity to a lot more people across the film industry to experience and be exposed to, skills upgrade across a variety of film making techniques. The third point, which is the portal, is we launched the portal yesterday, and the portal is, let me say, it's a social networking platform, industry networking platform. So not social per se, but it's like a boast pad. It's somewhere you can upload your body of work as a filmmaker, as a scriptwriter, as a gaffer, a lighting technician, sound engineer. any field at all. It's an opportunity for cross-country collaboration between Nigeria and other countries in Africa. What it means is that a director or a producer in Nigeria can look up, is interested in writing a story in Rwanda or in Botswana or in Kenya, and he looks up people who have done work in those areas, and he's immediately, able to get across and contact people who have worked in the areas of his interest. So the portal is live. It's you can access it at www.multichoicetalentfactory.com, and it's free, entirely free. Very importantly, whatever work you upload remains yours. No one can, copyright it or use it, or so it's safe. It's back end encrypted.